Hello. This is a quick tutorial on how you can go about moving on from your sketch of a car. So remember that cars are set up in proportion of the tyre size. Okay, so I've drawn a tyre set here. So we have a separation of 3 tyres between the front tyre and the rear tyre. If you were drawing, let's say, a luxury sedan, then you would have an extra half a tyre between these two tyres here. Okay, so this is kind of roughly the roof line. This is sort of flattened out there a little bit more though. Okay, but you get the picture there. All right, so this is a little bit of a hatchback sort of car, a little bit of a sporty car, right? Okay, so let's move on from this. I've jotted down some basic measurements of like kind of where general cars are in terms of the dimensions. Okay, so it's important to understand more along the lines of the tyre size. Okay, so I'm running off a standard sort of tyre size here of an overall diameter of 645 millimeter overall diameter tyre, and the rim size is 18 inches. Okay, so you need to convert that across to millimeters if you wish to have the tyre, like the rim inside there. Okay, but let's move on from that. We are looking here now at converting this into an isometric drawing. Okay, so this is going to be quite basic to start off with, just so you can sort of understand how you could go about converting this. Okay, so I'm going to draw this car in a aspect ratio as well as to a scale. Okay, so I'm looking at this tyre size here, and this is 645 millimeters in overall diameter in real world. So I'm going to look at my isometric template here and see where I could set up my drawing. Okay, so if I do mine to 1 to 100 scale, it'll be this small. Okay, using the 6 millimeter. So I might jump up to then I might jump up to like a 1 to 50 scale of my vehicle, and let's see how that works. It might be alright, but it's going to be a very small drawing itself. The next step up from that is I can add up to another, like I'm going in sixes. So we have here 6, then we have 12, and then we can go up to 18. So let's go up to 18 there. Okay, so now you need an isometric ruler for this one, an isometric ruler, a template, sorry, for this. It's called an ellipse template. Okay, so let's use the 18. So I'm going to start off by creating a bounding box for this vehicle. So I'm going to start off with the side, and then I'm going to add in the width of the vehicle afterwards. Okay, so let's get this happening. So I need to rotate my ellipse template over so that we have here, this line here is vertical, and these other lines here match up with the isometric graph paper that I've got here at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to draw in my final exterior circle for the rims. Okay, and then very lightly I'm going to move across, keep going upwards, okay, and draw very lightly in. Hopefully you can see that there. Very lightly I'm drawing in the proportions of the other wheels in order to gain proportion. Okay, so let's move on from that. Hopefully I'm getting this right. Moving on from there, yes. Need to do another tie here because I need 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then the final one here is the actual final tyre. And I'll put this in as a dark color here now. And we also need another, my coffee's getting the wrong way, in the way. And we also need another circle here at the end. with the middle marked, okay, as well as in the front. We need another circle in the front. Also with the middle marked as well. It's very important that you understand that you see the middle sections there, because what we're going to do now is we're going to translate all this around. We also need another tyre going up above, because we have our proportion there for the other tyre, so we can just make out that other tyre above. Normally, it's 1 tyre and 1/4 of an extra tyre above for the rear. Okay, so let's go to 18 again. Let's see how this lines up with everything else. It lines up with this top bit here on this graph paper, so I want to go up a bit more, line this up, put in a very faint line there. Okay, so hopefully getting these proportions all okay. Now this is going to take some time, so I hope you're prepared for this. Alright, so now we need to actually sketch in our vehicle now. So I like to start off with the base. Okay, getting those side skirts in, and then bring up the vehicle out from that, okay? And you sort of need to sketch that freehand and just concentrate only on the side. You don't have to concentrate inside the car, so wrapping the car like, you know, it's three-dimensional view of the wrapping around. We're just working at the bounding box at the start, and then you go in from that afterwards. Okay, so let's get this bounding box first of all happening. So I'm going to draw this bounding box here. Now I'm drawing a little bit darker because you need to see what I'm doing here, okay? So obviously you're going to be drawing this a lot lighter. And this is our bounding box here of the vehicle, okay? So on my vehicle, I'm a little bit of about 1/4 up from the top of that other circle. So I might draw in another circle here just so I can understand my proportions a little bit better. Okay, there we go, and it's about 1/4 height there, okay? So I need to draw a line across. Now I'm using this graph paper. This is just standard isometric graph paper, okay? I've printed my own out because I prefer a lighter graph paper. Ask me if you wish to get a copy of it. It's all good. Okay, so now what we can do is we can start to freehand this vehicle. So obviously we start here by looking at the proportions of the front of the car. So this is where my car is going to stop, right here. Okay. At any stage you can use tracing paper to come up with multiple layers. I don't have any tracing paper with me at the moment. Okay, so, and then you also have the rear of the vehicle as well, and that finishes at about the 3/4 mark there. Right, so I'm just going to sort of pencil that in for the time being, just to get a bit of an idea of the drop in the vehicle just there. Okay, so let's get this happening. So now I'm going to draw a line up from where the base of this skirt is, okay, up through the top of the wheel, and across there to the top, okay? And this here is actually my windscreen mark, okay? So I'm going to draw a line that curves around, okay? So this starts to curve around from that area there, right? And ends right about here somewhere, then starts to drop down quite a lot, okay? All right, so remember that I'm drawing this in 2 dimensions, like it's flat, okay, on this face here of this isometric area. Just note that. And then I'm going to draw another line that comes around from here to sweep down to this section here. My kids are at home at the moment, so they're making a bit of noise. Okay, and I'm going to draw in that front of the car there. So that is the kind of leading line of the vehicle just there. Right, so if you go over to Netflix and you see the abstract series on how they follow a line, they run a tape line across the vehicle. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at the flow of the vehicle. Okay, and I'm going to have start putting some details in the wheel arch, for example, using the distortion of those circles that I've drawn before. for this vehicle, okay? Now you could use a circle template, obviously, to create some of those. I'm sort of freehanding mine at the moment. I might sort of raise my bonnet up a little bit more in one section. Okay, just to give the car a bit of interest there. Okay, so we've got the sort of rough outline there of the vehicle just as a two-dimensional, but on the isometric view. Now you need to use the other side of this, all right, to come up with the side of the vehicle now, okay? So let's draw those in now. The bounding box. This is why a bounding box is so important to understand in VisCom. Okay. All right, and you start to think about here where the top of the roof meets the bounding box. So you sort of go from here, use that as a marking point there for where you're going to drop down the view, the front view of the car. Okay, right. So you need to work out now the proportion of the width of the vehicle. Depends on what vehicle you are working on. Okay, so here you need to do some mathematics, for example. Okay, so I've sort of calculated the width of the vehicle being 1.75. So we have here 2.67. So this is, so 1.75 would be about here somewhere, wouldn't it? Right? Okay, so from there to there, so we have a calculation from here to here. So let's sort of measure that. I'm just guessing this. So roughly about 40 to 45. Okay, 40 to 45. So let's put that in. Just so I understand here. Is that correct? Time to pack up. And I can draw a bounding box up from there. Okay, so do that all the way around. Okay, so 45. I can measure, by the way. Okay. From these points here, that's where the windscreen starts, pretty much, of the vehicle. Okay. So you can run the ruler right around the whole vehicle, pretty much. Okay. You get some dots happening around the vehicle. Now there are many ways to do this. Okay, so obviously, there's much better ways to do this from a professional point of view, but we're doing it this way. Okay. That's where it's going to disappear. All right, so we have here a rough outline of the proportions of the vehicle. Okay. So let's sort of put this in here. And then we obviously have this vehicle disappear around this point here, okay? All right, so hopefully that is enough there to help you out with figuring out the dimensions of a vehicle. All right. And there you can go from there. You can start rounding things off, doing whatever you wish to in the front, for example. Understand what the front could look like. All right, start to freehand that. Obviously, you'll need some sort of French curve or something like that to actually understand how these headlights could work. Okay, so I'm just going to roughly put these in. Okay. This is where drawing from observation is very important. Okay, understanding how a vehicle works in terms of what connects with what. Okay. Obviously, the bonnet comes down here and latches up against there. Right, you've got this nice big radiator in the front. Okay, you've got this front nose thing happening here. You might want to round this off as well. Okay. Cool. And you start to get this, the shape of the vehicle in. I'll leave it at that for the time being, but hopefully that assists you. That's quite free-handed in the end, but at least then you get proportions kind of correct. Okay, obviously I could have done a better job at the front of the car because you don't see the full headlight around there. It kind of wraps around. Okay, so that could have wrapped around a lot more. Yeah, because that is sort of hidden around the side there, and you can actually see more of the side of this headlight through here on this vehicle here. Okay, so hopefully that helps you. Okay, starting to get a few more details in there, yeah. Figure out how the windscreen's going to kind of work. Okay, all right, and you'll be pretty much done. It's kind of more French curved type thing territory now. Hopefully that helps you out. Thank you. That's a starting point. Okay, thank you. Bye.